and welcome everybody to the 2024 Great Britain World Championship Round 12 of the Formula One World Championship round. Okay, I guess. Anyway, welcome everybody. We were at Silverstone, the Regal Silverstone, watching a fantastic race as I'm about to describe to everybody. It was, I mean, I don't know how to say. It was very, it was very emotional, I guess. It was very emotional. But we'll get to that as well. Okay, so basically, pole position was the fantastically strong and well chiseled George Russell in pole position. Then, of course, the Sir Lewis Hamilton in second place. Sir Lewis Hamilton, second place. And third place, Lando Calrissian. No, Lando Norris. Lando Norris. We're not in Star Wars. And then, I don't know who was that. Piastri next, I guess, and then Verstappen.
No, Verstappen was fourth.
Was it? Sorry. I'm getting excited because I left the volume on of the audio of something I was listening to. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. It was Verstappen, and then anyway, look, they got off the line. Russell into first place, followed neatly in procession by Sir Lewis Hamilton. Lando trying to come around the outside. Unfortunately, that left the inside for what would be the inside of that corner for Verstappen, who then creaked around the outside of the next corner to take third place, followed then by Lando and Piastri. What am I talking about, Piers? I'm mad. I'm mad, Fabio. I've gone mad. Anyway, let me just take that off, just in case you do want to say anything.
No, it's okay. Carry on.
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Perez, who'd have thought? No. What, in the top 10? Come on. Anyway, there was a few collisions further back. Hulkenberg getting into it with Albon, who then crashed into Alonso. Also, there were some very dodgy decisions coming up. Let me just say that. Lap 9, Ferrari decided to tell their driver that rain was expected imminently. It wasn't imminent, by the way, but there we go. So I don't know why that happened. Then, of course, we've also got level up your gaming space. Put some metal shit on the wall. If you like metal shit on the wall and you have a gaming space, you're perfectly matched with metal shit on the wall gaming space upgradable stuff. There we go. That's my advert this week, because I've decided not to do the Manscaped this week. I think we were getting a little too rowdy with that. A little too rowdy. And Manscaped as well. They've got a new extension out, and I don't want to mention it because it's penis shaped. So just saying. Anyway, metal shit on the wall this week. Also, do you like battleships? If you like battleships, yeah, World of Warcraft. No, that's a girls' game. Warships, World of Warships. That's the one. Play that. It's good if you like battleships. Anyway, moving back to the race. Lap 13, rain starts coming in. At this point, again, it's Russell, Sir Lewis Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Sainz. Leclerc overtakes Stroll. Stroll did very well again. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Anyway, there you go. Norris finally getting his tyres up to speed, getting enough heat in those McLaren tyres. Overtakes Verstappen. Great in Stowe, a great overtaking place and a great overtake by thing. And then down the hanging straight, Piastri do the same thing. Might be Druids I'm thinking of. Anyway, Piastri does the same thing down the hanging straight. I can't remember anymore, Fabio. Too old for this stuff. Nonetheless, Hamilton still out front. That was until lap 18. And what could only be described as a majestic overtake by Sir Lewis Hamilton on Russell into the same corner, which I'm not going to again just for fear of getting it wrong. Fantastic overtake. Lewis out into the lead. Everybody very excited in the crowd, and I always teared up. I almost teared up at that point, but I managed to keep it together long enough to see them both go off track, lose temperature in their tyres. Him and Russell, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Russell went off track, and that allowed Lando to come through with the extra grip on his tyres. The McLaren doing very well in the wet conditions, obviously softer suspension and warmer tyres, or keeps the temperature in the tyres because of that. Then 19. This is lap 19. Lando pressing hard, very hard on Sir Lewis Hamilton. Goes down the outside, down the inside rather, and overtakes them before the left right of wherever that left right is of. I'm just avoiding names now because I'm paranoid. Lewis, terrible tyre temperature, allows Piastri, or Russell allows Piastri around the outside, and Lewis almost the same thing. Back down to the next straight. Then Piastri gets by. At this point, lap 20, Piastri and Lewis still battling it out. Lewis down the hanger straight again. Piastri gets past Lewis, and that gives both McLarens the 1 and 2. The rain now spitting and coming down a little more. And it's obvious people are going to have to go to intermediates. It's just a matter of when. And so lap 27, Leclerc, the pacey pastry, decides to become the unpastry and decides to pit. This turned out to be a critical decision, and it was too early for the intermediates. And of course, he then dropped back 53 seconds plus whatever he was extra going to lose, basically just putting himself out of the race. A terrible decision by Ferrari once again. And Vassar had something to say after the race. Then, of course, lap 28 comes, and Verstappen really struggling. Lewis, having already pitted for his inters, along with Russell, catches him and passes him. And this turned out to be a key point in the race once again. Next lap round, Verstappen pits, and this means that basically he comes out behind the top 4 runners. A great race by Hulkenberg, just to mention quickly. Really struggling to keep that car on the road, but managing to do it. Fantastic drive by him under the circumstances. That's an unbadged Ferrari, and did very well in considering that he managed to beat one of the Ferraris. Russell then comes in lap 34. They put slicks on his car, but to make no difference because he had water issues, water cooling problems, and he was out of the race. Lewis then chooses to come in lap 39 to change his intermediates onto some fresh red tyres, fresh slicks, and he's out. At the same time, Verstappen comes in, puts hard tyres on. Norris decides to go around one more time, and by the time he comes out, he's behind Hamilton, unfortunately. He also went long in his pits, so it was a longer pit stop than normal. He put red soft tyres on, worn though, and this was to make the difference, really. In hindsight, he almost cried over that decision. They had some medium tyres. They had some brand new medium tyres, which clearly would have been the tyres to go on to, considering the pace that Verstappen had already put in on his outlap, but they didn't seem to notice that. Nonetheless, there you go. As I say, Norris long in his pits, and really that was the thing that lost him the race. Pretty soon afterwards, lap 48, Verstappen catches Norris going down, you guessed it, the hanger straight, the Regal hanger straight, and straight past him, straight around the outside. There was no contest. Obviously, Verstappen's tyres being the hard tyres, he didn't have to worry about any kind of degradation. The only thing left to see was whether Hamilton could, in fact, hold on with his tyres and gain the entire kingdom. Sir Lewis Hamilton, could he gain the entire kingdom by keeping his tyres in long enough to hold off the attack by Verstappen? Lap 52 comes round, and he in fact wins the race by probably just over a second. A fantastic crowning glory to his time at Mercedes at the British Grand Prix, winning a fantastic, inheriting rather the record of the most wins at any circuit, 9 wins at one circuit, beating clearing Schumacher by one, and of course a fantastic. Russell was really deposed, really, from the number one in the team on this particular occasion. He was gutted, and of course, Lewis Hamilton remains the ruler at Silverstone of all he survived. Sir Lewis Hamilton, really one of the crowning glories of his career, and he was very, very emotional about it, and you could hear his voice breaking up from time to time with just how much to the whole nation. I think as one, we were in tears, we were smiling. We knew what this meant. We knew exactly what this meant. This meant that Lewis Hamilton was going to play with you too. And I quote, Bono said, "This one means a lot to us all." And he was right. Bono speaking for the nation, and Lewis said, "I love you, Bono." So I think that really tells the story of the British Grand Prix. And so I'm going to hand it straight away over to Fabio for your take on what was a very emotional time for us all.
Yeah, it was a very cool race. There was some swings and roundabouts. I mean, the old days started really bad. They had to red flag the Porsche Cup race because of the rain. They had I think it was, I can't remember if it was race one, or race two of the free races. It was flooded with rain. But anyway, it was really uncertain, and there were some bad calls made. I mean, you already remember the one made by Leclerc. It was, I mean, he got stuck behind Stroll. So even if he had not a bad pace when he managed to get out of Stroll, but he lost a lot of seconds. He was lapping 1 second higher than everybody else in front, including Carlos Sainz, which was, I think at the time was two, three, four, fifth or fourth or fifth, fifth or sixth, I can't remember. But anyway, so he made that. I mean, Leclerc made that call. It was wrong. I mean, they were waiting for the rain to become to get sooner than that. He went to Inters, but by the time that the rain came, actually, finally came properly, and you needed interest, his tires were destroyed. So, I mean, really bad call. It was really pissed at the end, but yeah, I mean, the race was all in the front. There were some fantastic fights between the McLaren and the Mercedes. Verstappen was uh, Verstappen was showing, that the car is, as we said before, is not the car that we used to see. I'm not even mentioning Perez because, Perez has got a lot of problems right now, not only with the car, but apparently there are rumors that before the summer break, it should be at least 100 points minimum behind Verstappen. And now I think it's 162 points. I think he made in the last 5 races, including the sprint race in Austria, he made a grand total of 15 points. So, yeah, good job. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Was
I'm,
he was he at the British Grand Prix? Because I didn't
I,
notice him.
I think we should ask Bottas or Richard, people, the Alpine. Maybe they saw him some, but oh no, no, no! Hold on a second. Even the first one, guys, they saw him when they lapped him. He actually was lapped.
Yeah,
He
he
actually
was.
ended up with 2 laps. So
Yeah.
they saw him at least twice. So
I
yeah,
had a friend that went and spotted him in the car park selling tacos afterwards.
yeah, yeah. It was that. But anyway, yeah. I mean, you said at a certain point, and I understand all the it was really emotional. I agree with you. But you said at a certain point, Hamilton dethroned Russell. I mean, Russell had an issue. I don't know what I don't think that Russell would have won the race just because of the fact that at a certain point the calls from the drivers were paramount. And while I mean we knew that Leclerc made the wrong call, Norris definitely made the wrong call. Verstappen was fighting with what he had. Uh, so Lewis was the one which was actually making the call and was making the right call. They asked him, to change the tires. I said, no, no, they're good enough. So he made another 3 or 4 laps with those tires. So he was in the zone. And I think that on Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember, he spoke with a journalist, and he told her uh, that he wasn't hoping for the rain, but if the rain happened, he would have a really good chance of being there. So it was already in the zone. Anyway,
Yeah,
brilliant race, really emotional. And talking about
it,
emotion, I
it
want
was.
to,
It was.
I
I
want
just want
to,
to say how you're sick, Fabio.
no, no, hold on a second.
No, no, please. Can I
No, no,
just
no,
say hello to Bob Elvis, please? Thank you.
no,
Just
no, 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 hold on a second. Before you go there, because I want to show, this picture. And I want you to tell what can you spot in the picture. So that was,
is that Bob
that was
Elvis in the crowd?
no, no, that was of course Lewis, cheering all the
Oh,
fans,
Lewis.
really emotional after the
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
But he's already prepping the guys for him being wearing red. If you can see,
Oh,
Oh
yes.
wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
He is.
actually, those are the trousers of his. I mean, we can say everything about Lewis, okay? Great driver. I mean, whining guy, but you could say everything and the contrary of everything. Uh, I will question his dressing style, every
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. No,
But
he dresses like a prince. Sir Lewis
right,
Hamilton does.
well, he actually dresses like Prince. That's what you mean, not like
Yeah,
as
a
you say,
prince. Yeah,
say
yeah.
same
princess
difference.
or like
Same
And
difference.
he and he showed up in Silverstone with that red trousers and suit, and he only has the trousers, just to make the people feel acquainted with the fact that, yeah, you know what, this is the color I'm gonna wear next year. So yeah, good victory from a Ferrari driver. Yeah, I mean, I'll take I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. No, fair enough. I mean, that's fair enough. Okay. Thank you so much for that. We have a lot to talk about in terms of decisions made, etc., etc. Welcome, as I say, to Bob Elvis. It's very
hey, Bob.
emotional for me to have you here. Thank you so much. And Missing Mod, of course, thank you so much. Please remember to like and subscribe and all of that good juicy stuff. Okay, over to our resident expert, who is not an expert, at being not an expert. He's the expert at not being an expert. Which is, of course, Lucky Seven Wolfen. Thank you so much. Good to see you again. And how did you find the race?
Okay, well, it was, as you guys have already mentioned, a very emotional and popular victory for Hamilton. But of course, we have to start with la reportage de Logan Sergent.
Oh, oui, oui. Mais oui, oui.
Our man Logan, uh,
He did
qualified
well. He did
12th
well.
this week. Qualified 12th this week and finished 11th in the race. Now,
Yeah.
the question we have to ask ourselves is Logan's recent performances him actually becoming a Formula One driver, or do you think these are just
No.
chance
Next
chance
question.
happenings? Right. Okay. Fair enough. We'll go through. We'll forget
Well,
that.
again, one of the things I would say, he's beaten Perez more times than I can remember in recent races. So I'm just saying,
Well,
Perez is re-signed for Red Bull. I don't see what the problem is here.
what I'm wondering is, now we make fun of Logan Sargent. However, Logan's the result of the Netflix generation. America wanted a driver, and they threw Logan into the mix, and he just wasn't prepared for it. But now, after a year and a half, is Logan starting to be prepared for a Formula One career, or is this
Nope.
just a
Next
flash in the?
question.
Okay, Logan, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Moving
Well, no. Can
swiftly
we
on.
just say? Can we just say? Look, he
But
may not
listen,
be the most talented driver. The reason he got the place is not just because he's an American. It's because he's an American that's raced in Europe, right? And they thought that would be a better chance than getting one of the IndyCar drivers that are super talented, like Pilau, or O'Hurta, or whatever, whoever they are. I don't know what their American names are, but there are some super talented American racing car drivers right now in IndyCar, and they passed them all over because they couldn't get them super licenses. Whereas, of course, Logan Sargent did have a super license, so that was the reason, and he came with a lot of money. That as well, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I must, despite the fact we make fun of him, I don't think Logan is in the position of his own making, and I think he might have done better had things worked out differently. But as Fab says, it's over and done with. Let's move on. Okay, one of the burning questions that we have to ask ourselves this week is: Adrian Newey, is he going to Ferrari this week or not?
Well, we're not going to know. We're not going to know.
It changes every week, and I'm just wondering if he's going or not this week.
Sure, we're not going to know till September, allegedly, because apparently in his Red Bull contract it says you're not allowed to disclose what you're doing till late in the season.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Nerdy, by the way, welcome, Nerdy Rodent. Thank you so much. Nerdy says, I'm rooting for Nigel Mansell. Fun fact, Nerdy. Apparently, Red Bull have been looking to replace Sergio Perez with Mansell's moustache. And that's probably going to do better. So there we go. Fun fact for you there.
I mean, talking about those rumors and our myth, Helmut Marko, it was amazing to listen to him during this weekend because he basically said so. Said that it's not. How do I say? He said, well, we can't discard Tsunoda to get back on the Red Bull, and Ricciardo might be a good option. I mean, it's
he's all over. He's just trying to rub it in. But here, Bob points out the relevant fact, which I hadn't quite got to, but I was going to eventually. Another good weekend in England for Max, securing his 4th championship. Is it mathematically possible for him to be caught? I'm not sure. I think it is. I'm not sure it's secured, Bub. So there we go.
But we're only halfway through the season.
But I know exactly what the thing is. Yes, you're right. Just because the regal and majestic Sir Lewis Hamilton has inherited a win from deposing his teammate. I can't think inherited the win, one might say, and the crown. It doesn't mean that he's going to be a challenger in the actual championship. Although I would say, go ahead, Fabio.
No, I'd say if you go with probabilities, it's going to be really hard. But
100%.
I mean, there is always hope that something happens. I mean, you guys remember when Michael Schumacher lost his championship because he went straight ahead and broke both his legs, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
There we go. Yeah, and also,
and also, sorry, and keep in mind that Michael Schumacher teammate at the time was Eddie Irvine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
Who,
it
who
wasn't
actually
Sergio Perez, you know
who,
what I mean?
yeah, who actually had a shot at the championship as well. But
Yeah, yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
just to say though, I do think that it's a problem. If it continues, Bub, it's a problem for Red Bull winning their championship the manufacturers' championship this year, or constructors' championship, I should say. Simply because there are now 4 people ahead of him, which potentially could beat him. And if one of those teams gets dominant, then potentially they could claw back enough points on Max to get the constructors. But absolutely, I agree with you. This means nothing for Max in terms of winning the drivers. I can't see anything stopping him other than, as Fabio says, a very unlucky set of circumstances whereby somebody drives into him at a race. Lando Norris drives into him at a race and he crashes out, hurting himself quite badly.
Well,
Anyway,
the
there you
thing is that if Lando Norris drives into him, he will end up crying. While when Lewis, what if Lewis run into him, it would be laughing. So that is another thing. And there is also the other thing that I I think that seeing Max Verstappen, and I'm saying it here now, the 8th of July,
Yeah.
it's not so far fetched that Max Verstappen might be racing for Mercedes next year.
Yeah. That's we will talk about that in a little while as well. Bub says disregarding sprint races, Max can now get only second places and still win the championship. And I totally grant you, but like Fabio's already mentioned, Schumacher was in a similar position in what year was it? 98 or something maybe.
I can't remember. I should look. When Irvine was his
Yeah,
teammate. Yeah.
97 maybe. And
Yeah,
he
98, 98.
it was 98. Wow.
Yeah, Häkkinen won the championship in 98 and 99.
Yeah.
And it was 98 that Schumacher did the Silverstone crash. And then, if you remember, Irvine lost the championship because the Ferrari guys messed up a pit stop at Spa.
Yeah. That's it. Anyway, so like you never know what can happen. But to say that he's got a more than he's not just got a hand on the championship. He's got a gloved hand with a fire suit. You know what I mean? He's pretty much sticking to it. So there you go. Anyway, hello Sandy. Hello Nerdy.
Safely say that whatever happens,
Hello Sandy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for stopping by, Sandy. Appreciate that. Go ahead.
I think something we can safely say is that if whatever happens at the end of the year at Red Bull in terms of championships, it's all going to be done off the back of Max Verstappen with no help from Sergio Perez.
Oh, very little, yeah.
Once again, Sergio Perez went off in qualifying. And what somebody needs to do is go back through all the qualifyings where Sergio Perez has been at Red Bull and do a montage of him going into the gravel trap, followed by the camera cutting straight to Adrian Newey and Christian Horner shaking their heads on the pit wall. Yeah. That's all I can remember of Perez in his Red Bull career, is him going off and the two of them shaking their heads.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to the guy. Genuinely, I don't know. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would say, he's basically tried to get to the moon and found out that he doesn't have enough power. I don't know. I really don't understand it at all. Exactly the same thing happened last time. He could concentrate for 6 races, and then he lost his shit. And that's pretty much been the same this year as well.
I think the main problem with Perez is that he was able to make good results at the beginning when the car is a little bit more neutral. Okay.
Yeah, true.
And then they developed the car for Max, and add to the fact that the car has got worse compared to the other, cars. I think that McLaren right now is the best car. It's faster pace, faster single lap. So it's really the car to look at. So if you add the fact that the car is more uh, driven geared towards max, and the car is worse compared to the competition. I mean, you have Perez, which is not a great driver.
Mhm.
This is where he is.
Yeah, Bub says to me, Paris is a good gauge of where Red Bull stands with their car. I don't think so myself. I don't rate I don't rate Verstappen that much more highly than the other great drivers. Perez, yeah, he's still a medium driver, but he isn't that bad as medium drivers go. He's not a world champion, but as non-world champions go, he's one of the better ones. So I just think
Yeah,
he's
but
struggling. He's struggling with the
well,
car, Big Star. And
well,
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean, maybe it's a little bit harsh as a as a comment, the one Bob Elvis made. But
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
but okay, but honestly, okay, let's take Perez and let's compare to the drivers in front of him, not counting the car. So Perez is not a better driver than Russell, Hamilton, Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz. I mean, I think we can all agree on that,
Yeah.
right? And
I
it's
mean, he's okay. I mean, like I would say, he's fairly consistent with Science. He's not far behind Science.
it's not far behind,
I would put
but
them pretty
okay,
much the same level. You know.
but okay, well, great. Okay, okay, let's scratch Sainz. Then we have Alonso.
He's
I
not as
don't
good
think
as
that.
Alonso. Yeah.
Right. So there's another guy in front of him. Who else have we
Yeah.
got? Uh,
Hulkenberg. I don't think he's as good as
I mean,
Hulkenberg.
Olkemer is a fucking good driver.
You see, this is what I'm talking about, the non-world championship drivers, right?
Yeah.
Hulkenberg is right up there at the top of them. But Perez, he's not that level, but he's not far behind again.
No,
Not
but no,
far.
but
He's a few tenths or a tenth behind, maybe. And again, like, I don't want to
no,
keep harking on this, but tires. Tires,
no,
tires,
but
tires.
listen. Well,
Go
we can
ahead.
talk about Tyson in a bit. But
Yeah.
so the thing is that we already mentioned at least 9 to 10, depending on your drivers, which are better than Perez. Now, Perez is driving the car which is in front of the world championship. So either the car is shit and Verstappen is out of this world, or what? The
Yeah.
car is good and Perez is shit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really hard, to get out of this, this
Agreed.
scenario.
That's why I'm saying tires, tires, tires right now, because that's the difference.
The tires. Okay, so if you want to, there was
Max
something.
knows how to work those tires to get them in real quick and real consistent. Perez has no idea. He cannot push the car that hard in a corner.
Perez has no idea, but he has no idea even compared to a lot of people. There was something really interesting happening with the tires in Silverstone,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Agreed.
there was the fact that at a certain point you could see cars literally driving 2 seconds faster from one lap to the other.
Yeah.
And that is mostly due to the fact that once it started rain on the tarmac on the racetrack, the temperature were going down even by like 10 degrees and stuff like that. uh the cars are all on the edge. Okay, the window is kind of narrow. It's not as narrow as it used to be 3 years ago with
Other
these
than the
cars.
McLaren. Yeah. Other than the
With
McLaren. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are some cars which they got like a broader window, like the McLaren. The Mercedes struggled a little bit at a certain point, and it was really cool to see how they were lapping like 138 one lap and 141 the other lap once
Mhm.
a little bit of rain dropped in. Verstappen, funnily enough, even if we've been saying that the car is not that good, I wouldn't say it was consistent, but this delta was way smaller than the other drivers, except maybe Lewis. So yeah, um, Max
Yeah,
is
for
definitely
me, there's two telling points to do with this, and the reason I'm saying tires is because it was very noticeable to me. The rain fell. When the rain fell, and everybody started like swapping around and whatnot, and it was noticeable that the at the beginning, the McLarens fell back compared to both the Mercedes and Max in the Red Bull. Max got his tyres up. If anything, that Red Bull brings their tyres in quicker than any other car because Max seemed to have the speed off the line to be able to overtake a few cars straight off the line. However, when the McLaren gets its tyres in, right, then that seems to be they seem to have much more consistent grip and a broader window, as you say. So I think there's a lot more forgiving that McLaren is to drive, which probably means they can push a little harder with a little more confidence, and that seemed to be the case. Now, the Mercedes, again, the noticeable point for me was when they got their tyres up to speed, which didn't take as long as the McLaren, but was certainly longer than Max Verstappen. When they did get it up there, you noticed that they were pulling away until they had the little battle. Lewis overtook Russell down Hanger Straight, and once they got round the corner there, a couple of corners later, they both went off the track, right? And then immediately they got back on the track. Both McLarens were faster than both Mercedes. Now,
yeah. It's
clearly, that comes down to tyre temperature, right? Going off track was
well,
enough to take their tyres down far enough that by the time they got back on and then managed to get them warm, both McLarens were past them. So
I,
I'm just saying that's why I'm saying tyres.
I,
There's a
I
method to
think
my madness.
I think it has more to do with the cars, not with the tires.
No, I don't think
Uh,
so. It's the way
no,
the cars warm the tires up.
yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So the tires are a constant with all the cars.
No,
It's
they're
up
not.
to the
No, no,
car.
no, no.
Yeah, they are. It's up to
No,
the
no, no,
cars.
no, no, not in the way the cars use the tires. That's different on
Well,
every
if you
car.
if you if you let me finish,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
go
Yeah.
there. Uh,
Go ahead.
so the cars are a constant through all the cars.
Yeah.
The tires are a constant. Okay. What differs is how the car lights the and puts the tires in the correct window. And this is not up to the tires. It's up to the car.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
So that's what I meant. So it's not
Yeah.
it's not that this is what I mean. When I say it's not an issue with the tires per se. It's how the car makes the tire work. Keep also in mind that at the beginning, people were. I mean, I was expecting because of at the beginning the rain was expected to come a little bit sooner than it came. I
Mm.
was expecting all the cars uh, to actually trash the tires, and go for it because the rain would have come and you would have to switch to inters, anyway. That uh, it 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 almost happened, but I think that when they realized that the rain was going to come a little bit later. Keep in mind that Silverstone is kind of a tricky race for blistering. So I think they try to keep, to manage the tire a little bit. And that adds up, to what we said before. It's how you manage the tires. And right now, I mean, the McLaren light them up faster, which was something that Red Bull used to do.
The Red
And
Bull
it seems
lights
to
their
be,
tires up faster.
I think the
The
McLaren
McLaren is a
lights,
lot softer.
I think the McLaren puts the tire in the window temperature faster than Red Bull right now. That is my impression. And they also are way more consistent with the tires than all the other cars right now. I think they got that advantage. But again,
Yeah,
it's
no, I
just
just disagree with that. But
okay.
that's beside. I've already explained why. I mean, my first point was saying, that's why Max was able to get past the McLaren's early doors because that Red Bull brings the tires in a lot quicker. But anyway, Lucky, over to you. What do you think about cars, tires, drivers, whatever?
Well, I think perhaps I should summarize the race real quickly because it's now 40 minutes in and we don't want to spend too long. As Fabio pointed out last week, Lando Norris is lacking in racecraft, and he showed that by letting Verstappen go around at the first turn. That's totally down to, as Fabio said, lack of racecraft. But hopefully he'll learn. Hamilton's pass on Russell, brilliant. Lando Norris's pass on Hamilton, brilliant. It was an exciting race. A very popular win for Sir Lord Lewis Hamilton, the 5th of whatever. It was an exciting Grand Prix. Now, here's the question. We talked about this earlier on in the year, and I predicted that we'd get rain at Spa or Silverstone to exciting things up. And as this was a wet weekend, do you think that from now on, every Formula One track should have a water splash in it?
Well, okay. First of all, let me thank you for reminding that. And if you remember the start, Lando made exactly the same mistake that he made, last weekend. He was trying to cover Verstappen, and and Hamilton, just went by. So no, I agree with you. It's the other thing. It's that I think that the next races are going to be way more interesting because of the mistakes that some teams have made in development. Ferrari made a mistake with the new floor. They tested two different floors on Thursday and starting Friday. Aston also made some mistakes, so there is some shuffling in the race performances of the teams. So I think it's going to be actually, I think it's way more interesting than if things would have gone linear. Red Bull new things are not as effective as they were. I think they brought some stuff in Silverstone, isn't it?
They brought a new floor, but Max damaged it in free practice 3,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
had to
yeah,
replace it. Now, whether they
yeah.
did or not, I really don't know, because if they're new parts, I mean, if I was Red Bull, I would have taken Perez's floor and put it on Max's car anyway, just to point that out, right?
Yeah.
But maybe they only had the one floor, in which case Max was driving with a damaged floor. I don't know. They didn't
Yeah,
say they did.
but like for example, us at new updates only on Hulkenberg car
Yeah,
because they have no money to bring, and then the car is performing really well. No, but it's really funny what you said about the floor because talking about shit being said in Silverstone, I think that Max Verstappen said that he lost something like 100 points of downforce. Now if you so 10 points usually is a tenth of a second. I'm really struggling with the 100 points figure that I think it pulled it out of his ass
yeah,
totally.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I,
and again, I don't think that that's the case. I mean, like, I think Red Bull would have been very quick to say after the race, had they not been able to replace the floor, right? But they didn't, so I guess they did replace the floor.
no, but yeah, no, I mean the 100 points thing was
Yeah,
really,
well, I mean, drivers, you know what I mean?
yeah, but I mean
How
a
big is that
hundred points.
fish? Yeah, but
I
the
mean,
fish was
yeah.
massive fish, you know.
Oh yeah, I was running on 4 cylinders,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
car was
absolutely, yeah.
exploding.
Yeah. I didn't have a
I think
steering wheel. Come on, guys.
I had
I think
flames, going at me.
Absolutely. And as for
Hundred
the idea,
points.
just to address Lucky's idea here of a water splash,
Yeah.
I mean Lewis Hamilton, he had a water splash in his helmet for some of that race, I'm sure. And every time he gets in the lead now, I think he's just going to start crying. So
one
Keep
one
in mind
quick
that every time you say that, even either you, Simos, or Lucky, every time you say that idea, Bernie Ecclestone is going to live 1 year more than he was supposed to be. So
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
it.
Now he was in the news recently, wasn't he? Saying
Was it?
he was the one that recommended Fabio Briatore to Alpine.
Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah, fuck it.
I had to laugh. Hello, Christian. By the way, thank you so much for being
Can I
here.
mention Hulkenberg?
Please remember to like and subscribe. Yeah,
Very
please do.
briefly.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg, he had the biggest shit your pants moment of the race. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. Great
Yeah.
recovery. Great recovery.
Yeah.
He did really well that moment, but I think there might have been some brown coming out.
Yeah.
I mean,
instant
if
reactions, perfect.
listen, if the car performs as good as it seems to be, and they are in a good trajectory, I think that even this year, but next year with Hulkenberg and Berman on the ass, might be a really interesting team to watch.
They've already sacked Hulkenberg, haven't they?
I think they signed Hulkenberg. I think.
Did they? Okay, I'm not certain.
I
Maybe
think,
Bob can tell us because he's the expert.
Yeah. Well, I think they're gonna sign Oliver Berman.
Yeah, I think they've already signed him. Yeah.
Which actually was really fast on Friday.
Yeah. Hulkenberg is going to Sauber or Audi.
Oh,
next
okay.
year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's already signed somewhere else. That's why I was thinking, that's where they sacked him. No, they didn't sack him. He
Oh
got
no,
signed
you're
to
right.
Audi.
Yeah. You're
They've
right.
sacked Magnussen. That's
Yeah.
that's the news. So yeah. Anyway, there you go. We'll see what happens. Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, gentlemen. There is more to say on the subject. All I can say, it was a majestic race by Sir Lewis Hamilton to win his 9th British Grand Prix victory, which is the most any driver has won on a single circuit in the entire history of everything. So what can we say?
Victories now he's got.
Say again?
It's 104 victories he's got in total now.
I think it's 104 in total, 199 podiums.
I believe that
and he's won more than 50% of the races at Silverstone that he's taken part in.
Okay. I believe that Russell's pole was the 140th pole for Mercedes.
Not bad at all.
Good for Mercedes.
Not bad at all. So yeah, there you go. I mean, he's not exactly. I mean, we should also quickly say Max's record is also extremely impressive, and if he keeps up with his car, he's likely to outstrip everybody. But fortunately for us, he's probably not going to keep up with the car. If he signs for Mercedes next year, who knows?
How many races has Verstappen won so far?
No, it's quite a lot though, but his percentage win is high.
No. This year. I'm talking about this year.
Oh, this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I mean, I'm not counting the sprint races.
No.
7.
I think it's about 7. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's good because there was this. You guys remember, the at the beginning of the season, we just we just predicted how many races he would have won. I think I said 16.
Yes, you did. Yeah, and I said 22 or something.
Yeah.
I said
Oh, yeah.
I said 21 then. Yeah, I said 21 then. Yeah.
Okay, so
anyway,
far,
so far you're the only one that stands a chance of winning.
Yeah.
Basically. And it is 7. I've just checked it. It is 7.
We're not counting the sprint races in this, no?
I thought we were counting the sprint races.
Well, I mean, I'd say no, but do what you want.
You'll be praising brightness in a minute. Holy shit!
My goodness. Anyway, there we go. Look, we're going to pass it on to the next round now because we're done with that. So everybody, I'm going to press the button for the theme tune.
Yeah.
And click. Is it a quiz? Is it a myth? Is it a myth or a quiz? Is it a myth or a quiz or a quiz and a myth? Is it a quiz and a myth? No, I don't know whether it's a quiz or a myth, but whatever it is, we're going to do it now. That's the new theme tune. I hope you like that. Over to you, Lucky. What say you? Is it a quiz or a myth?
That was an excellent introduction. No expense.
Yeah. So over to you, Lucky. What is it? Is it a quiz or is it a myth?
it's a quiz. We're going to have a double quiz this week, and we're
Double
going to
quiz
have
this
Holy
week.
shit!
we're going to have some talking. We're going to have some talking in between the two questions. So we'll start off with number one question of round 12. It's halfway through the season, boys. Round 12 of the Formula One Trivia Intercontinental Championship. The scores at the moment are Sterling Moss is in the lead with 5 points. Simons has got 4. Bob's got 3. So, 2 points available today. And the first question is going to be, who won the last Formula One Grand Prix held at the Nordschleife, Nürburgring Nordschleife?
Oh my God.
Oh, the Nordschleife.
Last winner.
That would probably be.
Hold on a second. Sorry, Simons. Before you
Yeah.
say, Lucky, before you say yes or no, give time to Bob Elvis to the people on the chat. So Simon's gonna say something. Maybe I'm gonna say something. If I can pull out my ass, just wait for a second.
You guys need to keep me right because I can't see the chat.
I'm going to say something like Jackie Stewart.
Nope.
I'm giving you the rough dates there. I think it was early 70s they stopped racing there. So.
Okay, so you're going Jackie Stewart.
I'm going Jackie Stewart. Yeah,
just give me a second. These are my answers. I'm not googling anything. I'm just trying to.
Yeah. No problem. We believe you.
Oh shit balls!
Any answers in chat, Andy?
Yes, there is, but I'm waiting for Fabio just to say.
I mean, I don't know. I want to say, I know it's wrong. I want to say James Hunt. James Hunt.
Okay.
But I think.
And Bub says Niki Lauda.
I think.
So there we go. We got our 3. We got our 3 answers.
Okay. So we've got Niki Lauda from Bub. We've got Jackie Stewart from Simos.
Yep.
And we've got James Hunt from Fabio.
Yes.
And Fabio gets the point.
I had zero hopes about it. I mean, I knew the time was right, but
yeah,
nice.
Okay.
If you remember, it was the race, of course, that Niki Lauda crashed and was so badly hurt.
I was actually trying to remember who won that race.
Of course, yeah. That makes sense.
James
so that would have been what, 75? Yeah.
No, 76.
76.
I beg your pardon. Yeah.
76.
Okay.
That was the year.
Yeah, you were close. They were teammates, weren't they, at some point?
Yeah,
they were racing.
Yeah.
James,
Bob Elvis. I mean, he probably would have if he didn't have, burn himself almost to death. He probably would have. So.
Oh no, he should have won the race in Fuji, of course.
Oh yeah.
If he hadn't pulled out, yeah. But then how many men have said that in their lives?
Yeah.
I think the Niki Lauda crash is probably why that race is most famous, rather than from Hunt winning.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I completely forgot about that. Okay, great. So should we have a chat? What did you want to chat about?
Okay, let's have a chat. Here's 4 drivers: Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, Niki Lauda, Gilles Villeneuve. Now, there's a couple of things they have in common. Firstly, is that they got themselves where they got themselves off their own back. Okay. Also, none of them drove karts, if you remember.
Yes.
And
yes.
In the case of Jackie Stewart and Niki Lauda, they accomplished what they accomplished despite their family, who didn't want them to get into motor racing. Niki Lauda lost contact with his family over motor racing to that point. Mm-hmm. Now, compare these 4 guys who can all be described as great Formula One drivers. Okay, they started off in club racing in the case of Jim Clark and Jackie Stewart. Niki Lauda, he was the same. Went straight into saloon cars. And Gilles Villeneuve, I mean, he was doing dragsters, he was doing snowmobiles and saloons before he got into open wheel racing. They had no financial help from anybody, these four guys. They did it all themselves. Okay, now let's compare that to Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen, and who else is up front at the moment? Lando Norris. All of them took the same direction. They come up through karts. Came up through karts from a really early age as the result of either motivated parents or motivated with lots of money parents.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it is. They all came through karts. I mean, Hamilton was slightly different because Hamilton's father didn't have a lot of money, and he worked two jobs to get Hamilton where he was. However, Hamilton still started off at the youngest age you could in karts and went from there. And it was the same with the other boys. They all did that. Verstappen was slightly different.
Slightly different. I mean, Hamilton started in remote control cars. He was a champion remote control car driver when he was 4.
But he still came up through karts.
His dad got him a kart, and they said something like they couldn't afford tyres. So what they used to do is at the end of a weekend, they'd go to the rich kids and ask them if he could have the tyres for next weekend.
Yeah, that's something I was going to come to. Hamilton was slightly different from the other three because, like we said, his father basically worked his ass off to get Hamilton where he was. He begged, borrowed, and stole, rather. Whereas Max Verstappen, his dad was an ex-Formula One driver who ran a kart team. So, I mean, he was straight in the door. You've got George Russell and Lando Norris. Okay, their racing career was nothing like Hamilton's. Those two used to drive to the circuit in their dad's Range Rover, get out, and then go to whatever team that their father had paid for to run them for the championship.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the difference. You've got these guys who, in comparison to the old guys, had a motivated parent with loads of cash, and basically all they needed to do was get the kid to the circuit with a racing suit and a helmet on, and the team would do everything else, from making him sandwiches to coaching him to test days to setting up the kart. I mean, all the kid would do is get in and drive. No.
Yeah, I mean, just to point out again, Hamilton also was very privileged in that, obviously he met Ron Dennis at a young age, and Ron Dennis paid for his karting career from the age of 12 or something.
Yeah. So you've got the kid at the back of the grid, whose father bought the kart, maintains the kart, puts the kart in the back of a trailer, trailers it to a race weekend, does all the work on it, uses the same set of tires for the whole weekend because they can't afford to do anything else. So what are we getting in racing these days? We seem to be getting a bunch of entitled rich kids.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll being a prime example. I mean, we all know that Stroll would not be in Formula One if it wasn't for his motivation.
Obviously, of course. Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, it's for the boat championship for him, literally. So
yeah,
they bought a team for him. Yeah.
Well, no, he also bought championships.
Yeah. And also that first year that the Stroll moved to Williams, the year before, his dad spent 80 million getting his son to all the circuits with the Williams car. So I mean that's pretty outrageous as well.
Anyway.
Let me read this quick comment here. Motivated parents for the win. See the Polgar sisters. They're both chess champions. Grandmaster, first female grandmaster, Judith Polgar.
Mm-hmm.
And
it says, see Mozart. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Carry on, Lucky.
Yeah. So can we, or do we have this to look forward to? A bunch of entitled rich kids. This is how racing has always been. This is how racing has always been. Well, it's not. It's not
Yes, it
Simon.
is. If you look at
Jackie
Fangio,
Stewart.
if you look at, there's a whole. I mean, back then as well, racing wasn't such a rich man's sport, right?
Yeah.
Because you could get in at lower levels, get noticed, and the teams didn't have to have paid drivers, not like
Yeah.
they do these days with the budgets the way they are. So it's a slightly different. You're comparing apples with oranges. But even then, I mean, Jim Clark, of course, his dad was,
Farmer.
yeah, a landowner farmer though. He wasn't just on somebody's land farming. They owned
Yeah.
the farm. I
Right.
mean, they weren't poor by any stretch of the imagination. He went to a grammar school, for goodness sake.
I'm,
know.
I'm,
He went
I'm
to
gonna
boarding
I'm
school.
gonna say another thing. Sorry, I think that it used to be worse than what it is today, because at least now it is true we have drivers with a lot of money getting at the top. Some of them, I would say not all of them, because I mean Kimi Antonelli, and Berman is not. But anyway, but before it not only used to be drivers, it used to be teams doing
Yeah,
that. I know Simons. I'm gonna say a name, and Simons will start laughing because he remembers that. But I'm gonna just say Lord Escott. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just just
That's
leave it
it.
there.
Yeah, Lord Hesketh.
Yeah,
I mean, he started a team for James, basically.
yeah.
I mean, and also I saw the other day,
His mother's
Graham Hill also started a Formula One team.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you're aware of that, but he
Oh,
built a
yeah, yeah.
Formula
No,
One
you're
car
right.
for himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did. But see,
Emerson Fittipaldi with the copper sugar. Yeah.
there you go.
Graham Hill didn't.
Senna was not a poor man coming into
No,
Formula One.
Senna was not a poor man. Nelson Piquet was not a poor man. You're right.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well, Graham Hill started off as a mechanic, and he started racing after he went to one of those Formula Ford, pay 20 quid and get 10 laps of Brands Hatch days. That's when he started racing. He was actually very late in coming into racing.
yeah.
But Jackie Stewart, he started off driving a borrowed car under the name of AN Other, because he didn't want his parents to know that he was racing.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a question at the end of all this?
Well, the question is, do you think that we're going to end up with a bunch
Oh,
of
okay. Okay. No, fair enough.
brands?
Yeah.
That's
No,
what I'm wondering.
do you think we're going to come up with? Go ahead.
Well,
Say the question.
if we take Max Verstappen as the example, okay, 5 years old, he's driving
Can you
karts.
just say the question first so people in the chat can answer it before
Yeah,
we
sure.
go in?
Are we going to end up with a sport full of entitled rich kids?
Okay.
Okay. Personally, I don't think so. The reason I'm not saying that there won't be, but I'm saying that we're not going to end up with that specifically. And my main rationale behind it is that right now we have teams which are companies and they're really after the money. So I can understand there might be some teams which they have to have, paying drivers, but in order to get results, you will also need somebody which is fast. So you might end up in a situation like Williams is now, where you have Sergeant, which is bringing money, but then you have to have Albon, which is a little bit better of a driver to get points. Now the results are not there, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, Red
Yep.
Bull would be equally the same there. You have
Red
Max.
Bull, yeah.
Although his father, there's no way his father could have afforded. I mean, he wasn't. Let's face it, Jos was not a successful race car driver. Okay,
No,
so
his mom is, but
his mum was a successful race car driver.
his mom was way faster than. I mean, if
Yeah. Okay. So
Max
anyway,
mom
but
was,
let me make the point. Let me make the point. Right.
she was really good. I mean,
The point
for the
being
time.
is that there's no way Verstappen could have afforded to put Max through world championships if he wasn't getting sponsorship. Right, what karting championships that is, because even a karting championship, even in his day, still cost in excess of £100,000-200,000, right?
Yes. No, but
World Championship level.
no, but you're right. But I think that I might have misunderstood the question, or because it is different if you have a fast guy which has sponsorships,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Verstappen or even Leclerc, even if
Yeah,
it's kind of wealthy, but just because he lives in Monte Carlo, but it's not
yeah,
it's not Monte Carlo rich, if you get what I mean.
yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
absolutely.
Uh, but so it is different if somebody or Lewis Hamilton, he came with sponsorships because he was good,
Yeah.
and it is
Absolutely, and
different.
that doesn't need to be shown at a particularly high level, right? That's
Right,
the point.
right,
Like with Jackie Stewart, right? Jackie Stewart
right.
got in some old beat up car and beat the pants off everybody who was doing it seriously. Just showing how good it. Same with Jim Clark, right? Jim Clark
Yeah,
was
Jim Clark.
just fast. I mean, you could put him in a wheelbarrow and he'd still beat, everybody else. You know what I mean?
I mean
Apparently, I don't know if this is the story I've heard, but in the three-legged race, at his primary school, he won that by more than a foot.
no, you're right.
Jim
I
Clark.
mean, if we can only look at some other, somewhere else, in the sports, um, in motorsports. Uh, while Lucky Wolf was talking, I was thinking about Casey Stoner, and if you read his story, it's mind-boggling, because if you think about you talked about kids, and guys going to the rich guys getting the tires and all that stuff. Now Casey Stoner's story is like that times 100,
Yeah.
because at a certain time he moved from Australia to Europe, driving there, and he was living with like in, I would say, college, but he was living in a room with 3 other drivers, pilots, and he was still driving in a van with his dad, which came from Australia, running in Europe.
Yep.
And so, yeah,
Yeah.
there's still hope. There's
Can,
still there.
in the same breath, I also just have to mention Kevin Swans as well. Uh,
Yes, yeah, Kevin
so
Schwantz.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he was given a bike for that Trans Am race in what was it,
yeah,
83 or 84 or
yeah.
something, when it pissed down and he fell off 3 times on the first lap and still won the race.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Anyway, anything else you want to say there, Lucky? Want to?
No, as long as we're all happy.
We're always
Oh, am I here?
happy, apart from
No.
I was very emotional earlier because I'm so glad. Anyway, carry on.
I love you, Simons.
Yeah, I love you too, man. I
Oh,
love
Anyway,
Bono.
So
Bono loves me.
you know what's going to be amazing? It's going to
right.
be amazing if Lewis Hamilton wins in Monza too this year. That would be fucking
Oh, that
fantastic.
would be great,
Be
wouldn't it? Will it
that would
rain?
be
Will it rain? Because that's the only way. Just to show
massive.
everybody,
Well,
this is
listen,
the latest rumours. Just to show everybody, this is the latest rumours on Lewis Hamilton. Lewis is rumoured to be playing with U2. Bono from U2 says, "This one means a lot to us." Lewis responds with, "I love you, Bono." So there we go. Just to say, there we are. Okay.
Okay.
if you remember in 1990, I think it was, Alan Prost won at Monza with McLaren, but he gave the trophy to the Ferrari mechanics he was going to be working with. Is that right? Or was that 89? I can't
I
remember.
don't
But
remember.
that's what happened.
1990 he joined Ferrari, so
Yeah.
must have been 89.
So it would have been 89. Yeah, he won at Monza, and he was up in the pit wall after the champagne, and he dropped the trophy down to the Ferrari mechanics who were underneath, who he was going to be driving for the next year, which made Ron Dennis kind of pissed off.
Yeah, no
So
fucks
that's
given.
what Hamilton needs. That's what Hamilton needs to do if he wins at Monza. That would be really fun. Anyway, okay. So I promised another trivia question.
You did. Question number 2.
I did indeed. I did. So here we go. You'll remember a driver You
Say
okay?
again?
Yeah, you remember a driver who went
Yeah,
down?
hang on. I can remember a driver. I can remember a
Yeah,
driver.
yeah.
Cheers,
Gilles Villeneuve. Yeah.
Oh, he got it. He got it before me. Go ahead. Sorry.
right. You'll remember a driver called Slim Borgud. That's Slim Borgudd. He drove
Yes,
for
of course.
ATS and he drove for Tyrrell, amongst other things.
Yeah, yeah.
However, he had a bit of a sideline, a different
Did
career. What was his alternative career to Formula One?
I didn't even know who the fuck that guy was.
Yeah, no, he had something like it was a business, and it was to do with it. Was he like did he do something like I'm not sure. Two things. Was it either it was something like oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue, like car filters or something like that, or something to do with cars. Can't remember.
No.
Normal cars, that is.
I don't know. I don't know.
Was he go ahead then, Fabio. You guess.
No, I would say blood diamonds. Just
Okay.
yeah.
Model,
No.
maybe male model.
Well, you may have done that, but this isn't what I'm thinking of. Is there any answers in
Right.
chat?
He had a
Slim
business.
Borgud, what was his alternative career to driving in Formula One?
Second-hand
answers?
car salesman.
No.
That's
no
Bernie.
idea.
That's
No
Bernie
idea.
Eccleston.
It was
You made a joke last week, Simus, about
clown a kid's party.
can
Yeah.
you hear the drums for Fernando?
Fernando, yes, yeah.
Do you remember making that joke last week?
I do remember I was going to make it again this week, but I thought I
Well-
can't hang on the same jokes.
Okay, well, that's a clue.
Was he a drummer?
He
Was he a
wasn't
musician?
He was a drummer. But with
Yay! I
with
got a
who?
question
No,
right.
No, you don't just get away with drummer. He was a drummer with who?
ABBA?
Yes. Well
Okay.
done.
So do I get the
He's
point for that? I
ABBA
get 2
drummer.
points for that. I got the band
No,
and
you
the
only get one.
instrument.
No,
I
you
only
only
get one. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Fair enough.
You only get one.
Okay, that's great. Bob, I think, has a question for us. Which 3 F1 drivers would you choose as your 3-week holiday mates?
Do they have to be living F1 drivers and actually driving now, or can I pick from somebody which is not driving now but still living?
Okay. I would answer Kimi Raikkonen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that's the reason why I asked that
That's
question,
it.
because
That's it. I don't have
Kimi
to
will
say
be,
anything. Kimi Raikkonen.
because
That's it. Just the one.
yeah, that was exactly my answer, but that was the reason why I made the question.
Okay. Who else? Kimi Raikkonen. You missed Pele on the
Oh.
podium. What
Living,
were you doing?
okay.
What were you doing, Kimi? You missed Pele at the ceremony. I was
Okay,
having shit.
let's say one thing, Samus. Let's
Yeah.
take Kimi Raikkonen out of the equation, because
He says living. He says
yeah,
living.
well, I mean, he is living,
I can't
of
come up
course.
with 3. I mean,
No, but it's both of us. If we have to answer that, we'll say Kimi Raikkonen, and that's it. It's the
Sandy
only
says-
one I want. I
Yeah,
don't care for the other two guys.
Sandy says, "Are they paying half a holiday?" Okay, another 2 then we need. And he says yes. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think. Go ahead.
Jackie Stewart's got to be one of them.
Jackie. Stewart.
Holy shit, Jackie
Yeah.
Stewart. I mean, are you shitting me?
I mean,
You've
I
never
can only
said
think of. I'm going to go back. I'm going to have to break that. I'm going to have to say some dead ones. James Hunt and Graham Hill. Kimi Raikkonen, James Hunt and
Well, it
Graham
had to be
Hill.
living people.
Okay, I'm gonna make it so. If it is living in general, I would go with Kimi Raikkonen because party, Lance Stroll because you can put the money and we can kick him in the corner of something. He just has to bring money in the party.
Okay.
And the third one, I don't know. I will probably get Ocon because he's French and he can get some girls. But I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I was
I don't
thinking
think
James
those are
Hunt
going to
because
be
he
a
would give
problem.
them drugs.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
actually, although it's like a scratch Ocon,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely.
pick. No. Um, Tsunoda.
No,
I'm gonna get
yeah,
Tsunoda.
he's a crazy motherfucker. Yeah.
No, because I mean, he's gonna be, the one which nobody looks at him, because
Yeah.
is basically this high, nobody's gonna, and compared to him, it's gonna
Mm,
be fantastic. So yeah,
okay.
Kimi, Lance for the money, and Tsunoda for, just the third wheel, and that's it.
Okay. What about you, Lucky?
Well, is one of us going to make a sick joke about Michael Schumacher?
You can do if you want. That's fine.
Well, I don't know. It's a fine line there, isn't it? It's a fine line, that one, making a joke about
Yeah.
a guy in a coma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going with Jackie because
May
he
as
would
well have
never
made
shut
it.
up.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, Jackie would never shut up. Um,
Yeah, but he's
Jackie,
80 something. Okay.
yeah, I know, but think of all the stories he's got. Think of the things that Jackie Stewart's experienced.
Yeah.
Fuck the stories. I mean, I'm going with Kimi Räikkönen. We're gonna be trashed.
Yeah. You can be trashed in the first 20 minutes. That's fair
Well,
enough.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a. I mean, you can get trashed with anybody. You can
Oh,
get trashed.
hang on. We're changing the rules here. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
Who else have you got? Who else have you got?
Where was I going? Yeah, Jacques Villeneuve, because you need somebody to say stupid shit for a comedy
Fuck
effect.
me.
Yeah, he's a bit of a party animal too.
Yeah, but it's gonna end up in a fight after an hour.
Well, he's not. He's no Montoya, but you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fuck.
So that's two. What about the third one?
Third one, that's a difficult one. You know that.
Oh, he hasn't thought about
Yeah.
it. Come on.
I'm torn between Hamilton and Alonso.
Oh yeah, Alonso's not bad. Not a bad guess. He's
Alonso's
quite an
not
party.
bad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Bob says mine would be Vettel, Heinz Harald Frentzen, and Niki Lauda. Obviously not alive, but
Yeah.
Lauda's a good guy. Lauda's
but
a
there you
guy.
go. So if we're not having dead people, then for sure. What
No.
are your three dead people, Fabio? Mine. I'm going to stay the same. I'm going to stay the same with Ricky Raikkonen, James Hunt for the girls, and Graham Hill, just to make sure that we get everything we want.
Oh, if we go for not completely leaving, I will have to pick. I will go with Kimi Räikkönen and yeah, maybe James Hunt. Yeah, I agree with you. But the third one would be Gilles.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, he was a good guy. He was a good guy.
And he would be the one driving the car. So we can
fair enough.
we can pretty be sure that we're gonna wherever we want to go, we're gonna be there really fast.
Yeah. That's why another thing with Graham as well, because I think he flew jets. So, or he was a pilot as well. But anyway, Bub, if you just want to say who your third living would be, that would be good. And what about three deads, Lucky?
Sorry, isn't Frentzen dead too?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Heinz Harald, I wouldn't have thought so. He was still quite young, wasn't he?
I don't know. I think he's dead. No, because Bob maybe says he didn't know Lauda was dead, but I think that Frentzen is dead too. Okay, let me check you guys.
Yeah, you check that out. What do you think there, Lucky? For you three dead guys.
For dead guys, Jim Clark definitely.
Oh yeah, now there's a call. Yeah,
it'd have to be Jim. He's Scottish. Who else could I choose? James Hunt. James Hunt purely for the drugs and the girls, as you mentioned.
I know he's alive. He's alive. Frentzen is still alive.
Okay.
Ascari.
Ascari. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, he would have some good stories, that's for sure.
I think Ascari would be a guy worth talking to.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Who was your third living then, Bub? By the way, if you just want to answer that, then we can end the show. So yeah, there you go. That's a really good question, though. Thank you very much for that, Bob.
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
Yeah, absolutely. Would be Russell.
I actually have Well, they're not. One of them is not an F1 driver, but I have some drivers I spent some weekend with. Uh, because I spent a weekend with Massa, nice guy,
Oh, okay.
Felipe Massa,
Yeah, yeah.
and and uh, and I also spent more than a weekend with an American driver named Price Cobb, which is a Le Mans winner with Jaguar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so fair enough.
Okay. Okay. The only person I've come close to in Formula One, and even that wasn't very close. That was more waving. Was Murray Walker.
Oh, okay.
I got a chance to walk past Murray Walker one time, and I was just about to go over and say something, and a guy that I was with went, "And there is Murray Walker." And as I was walking over, I just turned around and walked away.
I actually missed the party with Michael Schumacher for a little bit. I mean, he was supposed to be there, but he wasn't. When I was working in Ducati, they Ferrari invited us in Monza for their party, which was held like I think it's Friday evening, and and both Schumacher and Felipe Massa were supposed to be there, all the people, but Schumacher, couldn't make it for some reason at the time, so only Felipe Massa was there. So yeah, I spent some time with Felipe, and I missed Michael, but yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the only
yeah.
F1 driver I even come close to was Jackie Stewart.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's a classic.
Of course,
A
only one I
great,
come near.
great day for motor racing.
I'm dyslexic, you know.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I did know that actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Really,
There you
Jackie,
go.
you're dyslexic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can we
Thank you.
manscape the fuck out of here? Because
Yes, we
it's
can.
an hour and a
We
half.
can.
Okay.
Just hold on.
Okay, one more thing to say.
After round 12, scores are Fabio still out in the lead with 6. Simons has got 5. Bob trailing slightly behind with 3.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, everybody. Next week, is it next week? Is it? No, the week after next. I should think 2 weeks,
I think
probably.
it's the week after that.
21st. So 2
yeah.
weeks away. We will be
Mhm.
at Hungary. Another specialist track for Hamilton. And if it rains, oh yes, come on.
Oh yes.
So very exciting. Although it's a fairly flat track. I like Hungary. It's a small track, isn't it? Kind of like a go-kart track. They say it's a Monaco kind of track.
Yeah.
Monaco without the walls, I believe they call it. And basically, yeah, I think Max would be back on top again for this one, especially if it's dry. It's quite flat. It was resurfaced. I mean, it's a new track anyway. 86, I think, was the first time it was on the
There's a lot of
calendar.
alterations to the pit area, I believe.
So yeah. So thank you very much, Bob, and everybody in chat at the moment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Missing Mod. Thank you, Nerdy, and Christian. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the likes, and we will see everybody on the next week's.
And Bob Elvis. You forgot Bob Elvis.
I think I said Bob first. I think I said Bob.
Oh, okay.
First.
So, yeah.
But I'm going to thank Bob again because he is superb. Without the show, we wouldn't have anybody to correct us. So thank you so much, Bob. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Thank you.